Hey humans, welcome to Read to Me, Matt Dunn. I'm Matt Dunn, and I'm going to read to you. Frankenstein. Chapter 22, Part 1. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Are you ready? Let's go. It was 8 o'clock when we landed. We walked for a short time on the shore, enjoying the transitory light, and then retired to the inn, wedding night, and contemplated the lovely scene of waters, woods, and mountains, obscured in darkness, yet still displaying their black outline. Talking about everything but really what they really want to talk about, you know. The old secret. The wind, which had fallen in the south, now rose with great violence in the west. The moon had reached her summit in the heavens and was beginning to descend. The clouds swept across it swifter than the flight of the vulture and dimmed her rays, while the lake reflected the scene of the busy heavens, rendered but still busier by the restless waves that were beginning to rise. Suddenly a heavy storm of rain descended. Ominous. Ominous storm, rainy storm, ominousness, ominous. Oh yeah, boy. I had been calm during the day, but so soon as night obscured the shapes of objects, 1,000 fears arose in my mind. I was anxious and watchful, while my right hand grasped a pistol, which was hidden in my bosom. It was just like, every sound terrified me, but I resolved that I would sell my life dearly and not relax the impending conflict until my own life, or that of my adversary, was extinguished. Bring it on. I'm gonna either kill you or you're gonna kill me, and then it'll be over. Elizabeth observed my agitation with some time in timid and fearful suspense. At length, she said, Was that? This is what's going on in the middle of the night. He's like gun slinging and she's freaking out. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, though. Elizabeth observed, What is it that agitates you, my dear Victor? What is it you fear? Could it be the secret? Oh! Peace, my love. I'm okay, replied I. This night and all will be safe. But this night is dreadful, very dreadful. It is wet out. Oh, gross. Ew. I passed an hour in this state of mind when suddenly I reflected how dreadful the combat which I momentarily expected would be to my wife. I earnestly entreated her to retire, resolving not to join her until I obtained some knowledge as to the situation of my enemy. She left me. She's so obedient. If I was her, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? This is our wedding night. I'm not going to bed alone. You are a douche. She left me and I continued some time walking up and down the passages. I'm already like thinking about what could happen. I'm freaking out in my head. And I'm like, this is just going to be bad for Elizabeth no matter what. Oh. She left me. And I continued some time walking up and down the passages of the house and inspecting every corner that might afford a retreat to my adversary. but I discovered no trace of him, and was beginning to conjecture that some fortunate chance had intervened to prevent the execution of his menaces, when suddenly I heard a shrill and dreadful scream. It came from the room into which Elizabeth had retired. As I heard it, the whole truth rushed into my mind. My arms dropped. The motion of every muscle and fiber was suspended. I could feel the blood trickling in my veins and tingling in the extremities of my limbs. This state lasted but for an instant. The scream was repeated and I rushed into the room. You're a fucking... Anyway, let's get on with it. Everyone seems to know it, Great God, why did I not then expire? Why am I here to relate the destruction of the best hope and purest creature of earth? She was there, lifeless, inanimate, thrown across the bed, her head hanging down, and her pale and distorted features half covered by her hair. Everywhere I turn, I see the same figure, her bloodless arms and relaxed form flung by the murderer on its bridal bearer. Could I behold this and live? Alas, life is obstinate, which means it continues, and clings closest where it is most hated. For a moment only, I lost recollection. I fainted. Sometimes the smartest people are the dumbest people, because how could you have not seen that was going to happen, dude? How? It's like, well, he's murdering everybody around me. I must be next, right? There's nobody. Oh, yeah, there's Elizabeth. Well, now that Elizabeth is dead, I must be next, right? Oh, no, your father's is still alive. Fucking Ernest is still alive. Hell, even your groundskeeper could probably be taken care of before you get your fucking head out of your ass. When I recovered, I found myself surrounded by the people of the inn. Their countenance expressed a breathless terror, but the horror of others appeared only as a mockery, a shadow of the feelings that oppressed me. I escaped from them to the room where lay the body of Elizabeth, my love, my wife, my so lately living, so dear, so worthy. She had been moved from the posture in which I had first beheld her, and now as she lay, her head upon her arm and a handkerchief thrown across her face and neck, I might have supposed her asleep. I rushed toward her and embraced her with ardor, but the deathly languor and coldness of the limbs told me that what I now held in my arms had ceased to be Elizabeth, whom I had loved and cherished. The murderous marks of the fiend's grasp were on her neck, and the breath had ceased to issue from her lips. While I still hung over her in the agony of despair, I happened to look up. The windows of the room had before been darkened, and I left a kind of panic on seeing the pale yellow light of the moon illuminate the chamber. The shutters had been thrown back, and with a sensation of horror not to be described, I saw at the open window a figure the most hideous and abhorred. A grin was on the face of the monster. He seemed to jeer, as with his fiendish finger he pointed towards the corpse of my wife. I rushed toward the window and, drawing a pistol from my bosom, shot. Kapow! But he eluded me, leaped from his station, and running with the swiftness of lightning, plunged into the lake. Ow. Plunged into the lake. Woo-wee. People are probably like, gunshots, what's up? Some people are probably thinking he killed himself. If you were like, he went into the room alone. 5, 4, 3, 2. He must have killed himself. The report of the pistol brought a crowd into the room. I point the report. Hey, yo, calling all people. Hello. Got it. Gunshot. Reporting. I pointed to the spot where he had disappeared, and we followed the track with boats. Nets were cast, but in vain. After passing several hours, we returned hopeless. Most of my companions, believing it to have been a form conjured by my fancy, after having landed, they proceeded to search the country, parties going in different directions among the woods and vines. I did not accompany them. I was exhausted. A film covered my eyes, and my skin was parched with the heat of fever. In this state, I lay on a bed, hardly conscious of what had happened. My eyes wandered round the room as if to seek something that I had lost. At length I remembered that my father would anxiously expect the return of Elizabeth and myself, and that I must return alone. God damn, dude, you are fucking fucked. This reflection brought tears into my eyes, and I wept for a long time. Yeah, dude, remember when we talked about gluicide? Huh? Gluicide? You fucking asshole. The reflection brought tears into my eyes, and I wept for a long time. But my thoughts rambled to various subjects, reflecting on my misfortunes and their cause. Yeah, I bet. I was bewildered in a cloud of wonder and horror. The death of William, the execution of Justine, the murder of Clairvaux, and lastly, of my wife. Even at that moment, I knew, not that my only remaining friends were safe from. Even at that moment, I knew that my only remaining friends were safe from the malignity of the fiend. My father, even now, might be withering under his grasp, and Ernest might be dead at his feet. This idea made me shudder, and recalled me to action. There it is. I started up and resolved to return to Geneva with all possible speed. Wow. Things are heating up. Things are really heating up here. Let's get on. Please, if you want to check out some more of, if words were a sentence, then hell, we'd all have paragraphs, right? So listen, if you want me to keep reading, please check out some more of my videos. Give me a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, and write some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinions. Let me know some facts you might haven't heard of. Let me know anything. And I promise we will be friends, because we already are. Friend.